Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another episode of the Catskull Academy, the series that aims to give you the very best start possible in EVE Echoes. Today we're going to be looking at Planetary Production, which is a form of resource gathering that you may use for manufacture. Unlike mining, this does not require any specific ships and makes a great little side income earner for anyone playing EVE Echoes. For me, as a PvE, PvP ratter, I tend to have this still set up because it just gathers ores over time passively that you can then sell or use for doing whatever it is you want to do with them. So today in this video we're going to talk about how to set up Planetary Production mining arrays, what kind of ores you should be looking for, what skills will benefit doing this, and of course how to actually, well, you know, do it. That said and done, if you do enjoy the video, let me know by hitting like on it, subscribe to the channel for all things EVE Echoes, and ding that notification bell so that you know when the next video goes live. In the comment section down below or on social media shown along the bottom of the screen, come find me, let me know what you think, what kind of videos you want to see me make, what topics you want me to cover, that kind of thing. The Catskull Cartel Discord shown at the bottom of the screen and in the description below as well is open for anyone to come and join us and have a conversation about EVE Echoes. If you do want to apply to the Catskull Cartel, 100% you can do that via the Discord as well. We are still looking for members. We are still expanding into carving out our empire in nullsec. That said as well, talking about carving out empires, everything I do on, for this content is done entirely on my phone. If you want to help me keep doing this, if you want to help support this channel, you can do so by heading across to Patreon and making a pledge there. Every single dollar, every donation really helps. So thank you ever so much to all of you. Right, that said and done, let's talk about Planetary Production. So if we open the main menu and head right down here to the right to the Planetary Production icon, you will see this little screen. This shows you every particular planet in the sector. And there's some really cool stuff about this screen. I do actually really like the fact that you can tap for info and get an idea on everything about this planet. As someone who sits there and stares at the night sky and have a really cool app on my phone that allows me to look at different planets and like stars and learn a bit about them, like their mass, the velocity, all that kind of thing, this is really interesting to me. And I love that they've gone to that extra detail. It's not at all important to the game, but it is pretty cool. What is important to the game, though, is here on the right-hand side, you can see what this planet can yield. In this case, N7BIY1 is a lava planet, and that will give glossy compound, heavy metals, noble metals, or polyaramids. Polyaramids. Bleh. Wow, that's a difficult one to say when you haven't had enough coffee in the morning. Now, next to those, you will see the volume that you can mine here. Glossy compound has a medium amount, heavy metals is medium, noble metals is poor, and polyaramids is rich. As we look down the different planets in the system, you will see that they all have different types, like barren planet, lava planet, and they will all have different yields and possibilities of the minerals that you can find on them. As we go down, you'll see all kinds of different ones of these, and hopefully we should have, here we are, some perfect in the system. Temperate planet here for N7BIY6 has opulent compound or condensates at perfect. Now, the higher the quality this is, the more you will get per yield, the quicker that your mining arrays will manage to fill that up. That's a really cool one. Let's have a look at what else we have. Fiber composite, reactive metals, coolant, and lustering alloy. Lustering alloy is actually a really basic material. It's used in a lot of things. That's probably the one we're going to go for here. Lustering alloy I would recommend if you've only got a couple of arrays. If you're doing this as a side job, lustering alloy is always a good one. So we're going to hit place a development array. This will put a development array on this particular planet. Now, the higher your planetary skills, the more planets you will be able to mine on. At the start, you can only put an array down on one planet. Sorry, forgive me, I'm not sure what's going on with my voice this morning. You can only put an array down on one planet, but skills will allow you to eventually populate 2 planets, and I think actually more as you get up through advanced and expert. But once you've got an array placed, you can then choose by using the plus and minus arrows how to set up that array. So if I wanted to just kind of mess around there and have little bits of all of those, that's how I could set it. Of course, I'm going to set that as full 4 on that lustering alloy perfect. Crikey. I'm going to hit confirm on that now, and that will now immediately, as you see, start to actually perform that mining. That lustering alloy, it says no inventory, that is slowly starting to fill up. Now, this particular array, as you can see, will keep mining for the next 2.5 hours. That means you can't just leave this here, go on holiday, come back and expect there to be a load of stuff here. what you need to do is to log in at least once every 24 hours, hit that positive little symbol there, and suddenly, bam, we're up to 24 hours, and that will count down here. And you can see I've now finished mining my first lustering alloy. We're not going to launch that yet, kind of pointless to go all the way out there just to collect one. This happens over time. So again, log in, get to that plus sign, refresh it if you need to, and then you can go and collect anything that has been harvested. And I'll show you that later on, because I'm going to skip ahead to when this has actually managed to harvest a decent amount for us to go and look at. Now, of course, if we go back to mining settings, down here at the bottom you have Demolish Mining Array. If you want to change which planet you are mining, then 100% that is what you're going to need to do. You will need to hit Demolish Mining Array, that will then take it apart. You can then go to a different planet and select that one. So, for example, I decided that actually I wanted to now go across and start harvesting Opulent Compound. I would need to tap here, go to Mining Settings, Demolish Array, then come back and place a development array here. But as you can see, if I try now, it's just going to tell me that mining planets is maxed out. Now, of course, once you've got an array going as well, at the top of the Planetary Production menu here, on the top left, you can see that is now there as kind of a bookmark, and we're already at Lustering Alloy 4, which makes me happy. There's a bookmark there in the top left. Now, you do need to be in the system itself to claim this and to set this up. Obviously, if you want to start jumping around different systems to have a look at what are in the nearby regions, you 100% should do that. Go scouting out different regions, different systems, finding what you need. If there's a particular material or mineral that you're looking for instance, you've got your blueprint, you're having a look at it, and it says, oh, actually, I need more base metals. Have a look around the different systems in your area, find one with a base metal, perfect. It's also worth noting at this point as well that the security level of your system does massively influence how much you yield from a planet. The higher the security, the lower and slower that yield. Ultimately, that means that here, being out in N7BIY, being a negative 0.6 system, Planetary Production arrays out here are particularly lucrative. They do actually harvest at quite an astonishing rate. Heck, if I go back, you'll see that we're now already at Lustering Alloy 6. If I were in, say, a 0.8 system up in HiSec, I probably would only have harvested the 1 by now. That is a big, important difference to note. Okay, so Planetary Production is something you're interested in. Clearly, you're watching this video. How do you then increase your yields and your skills? Well, if we go across into our industrial skills, we can have a look at all the different parts here, and I've got to find which one it's under. I'm sure it's under, there we are, Planet Management, Planetology. You do actually get a skill chip for Planetology as part of the advanced tutorials, so it is worth, making sure that you do get to that advanced tutorial and do it. Even if you do decide that you are going to train Planetology before then, that skill chip will refund any points that you've put in. So if, like me, you go up to Planetology 3, then you get that skill chip and use it, it will refund the points that you put in already, which is a very, very useful thing to do. Anyway, so let's have a look at what this skill actually does. So if we open it up and tap on the 3 lines, that gives us the skill effects. At level 1, Planetary Production launch time is slowed down. So, it's sped up by 10%, so it's faster to launch. You'll see what that is in a moment when I go to launch later on. In this video, you'll see there that you have to launch, and it does take a brief period of time before that launch actually happens. That means that it goes faster, and also it yields the cargo hold at plus 20%, so you can have more in there to actually launch. Then as you go down, level 2 adds an extra mining array. So you saw that when I set it up, I had 4. That means you will only have 2 at the beginning. Once you hit level 2 of Planetology, that will increase the mining array to plus 1. Giving you the option of 3. At level 3, that goes up to plus 2, which is how I've got 4. I get a 30% increased launch speed, and my cargo hold is twice the size of a standard cargo hold. Once I hit level 4, that becomes 150% with a 40% speed, and I can now mine an additional planet. You can see there, maximum development planets at level 4 is plus 1. That means I'll be able to mine 2 separate planets, and with a total mining array on each of those of 5. Level 5 then gives us a couple of extra boosts there, not an extra planet yet, but down we go. And as an alpha player, that means that once you hit there, you can have a 50% extra speed, you can be mining on 2 planets with a total of 6 mining arrays, and your cargo hold is 3 times the size of a standard cargo hold, plus 200%. Of course, once Planetology is done, you can go into Advanced Planetology. It's more of the same, but obviously higher levels. You do need to be an Omega level clone for that to be active, but if Planetology is something that you're interested in, that is well worth doing. That is the only skill you need for this. There's literally nothing else to this, which makes it a great little side gig if, like me, you're mainly focused on combat. This just gives you something that you can do passively in the background, and I do recommend that every character does it. Whether you skill into it or not, do it. Do it. Collect those resources, gather them up, and eventually sell them on the market. That helps everyone, and it earns you a little bit of extra ISK as well. Of course, then, the final thing to talk about with Planetary Production is, of course, how to actually pick it up. So if we go back to the Planetary Production menu, you'll see here that we've got our array out here on the planet with the option to launch it. That is what we're going to have to do, and this will take a brief period of time, anywhere from a matter of seconds up to a couple of minutes, as you can see here, based on how much you are ejecting into space. It is vital at this point that you do set that as a destination, and you do aim to get there as quickly as possible. Especially out here in nullsec, there is every possibility that that container, once it's in space, is going to be the target of someone to loot. They can come out and grab it. And in fact, if you've seen my navigation video, you've seen that I almost did that to poor old Jen Silos in our corporation. Jen Silos, the much maligned poor bastard, gets a lot... I can't say that. Having undocked, you can see it then autopilots us straight out to the area where that has now been jettisoned. When I get here, if I open up the loot, we will see that it's not actually here yet. Oh no, it has launched. There we are, it has launched. I can immediately open that, loot that, and take it with me. And you can see here that Drizzle as well, one of the guys from the Catskull cartel, his container is out here as well. If I wanted to be really rude, I could actually go and approach that and loot it. That said, of course, I'm not going to do that. I'll let Drizzle come and claim his himself. Anyway, folks, that should cover everything that I need to mention about Planetary Production. So hopefully this will give you an insight on what you should be doing in order to actually start harvesting minerals from planets. This is one of the biggest gateways to industrialism, to manufacture, simply because this is time-gated. You can't just sit there and force a load of lustering alloy or whatever. You do have to set up that array and then wait for it to go, or of course buy it on the market. So hopefully that answers some questions. If there's anything you think I've missed, do let me know in the comment section down below. Come join us on the Catskull Cartel Discord. You know the drill by now. Otherwise, folks, happy sailing and see you in New Eden.